Hello, growers. Looking for a simple way to supercharge your diet with powerful nutrients? Meet broccoli microgreens. These tiny sprouts pack 10 to 100 times more nutrition than mature broccoli, making them a true superfood. With their mild flavor, broccoli microgreens can be added to any meal or smoothie, giving you a tasty health boost. They're easy to grow, ready in just 7 to 9 days, and thrive in various environments. Rich in sulforaphane, calcium, vitamin C, vitamin A, iron. They protect your cells and fight inflammation. Perfect for boosting your health goals or as a market crop. Start growing them today and experience the benefits. Get 100% organic, pathogen tested and pathogen free broccoli microgreen seeds at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.
Which will lead us into kind of the model that you've chosen. The crop selection, I think, that you're growing is a little unique for the size you have. So a third of an acre, not now, but when you started, what were some of the models you were looking at for what I could grow on a third of an acre? So this will get us to the thought process of, and we'll follow up on this, but where you got to today. So how did you start? What were you looking at?
So I was looking at initially growing the things that I loved, but I was targeting a farmer's market that was 5 miles from my house that was really well established, and it'd been there. So I was trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to be able to grow what I want? Why are people going to want to buy from me? I started taking a closer look and started buying a lot of the products and taking it home and trying their tomatoes, trying the lettuce and trying everything. And I found that I was a little bit underwhelmed. My family, my mom was a chef, and we have a lot of really good cooks in the family, and we're all kind of foodies. And so I have pretty high standards for what I want. And I noticed that people weren't if the quality just wasn't as good as I'd hoped. It didn't taste homegrown. It was definitely better than a supermarket, but I thought there was room for improvement there. And I noticed that a lot of people were also growing a lot of the same stuff. They had the same cultivars or the same varieties. Every eggplant was purple, and somebody had rainbow carrots, but everybody had orange carrots, and everybody had the same kind of lettuce mix in the bag. And there just weren't a ton of varieties of certain things. And so I looked at that. I looked at the fact that some of the displays were just okay. There's nothing there that was really exciting. The established growers, I think, because they've been there for so long, it's old news to them to go to the farmer's market, and they roll up with sort of their old tablecloths and their plastic bins of produce and just set things up there. And that all works for them because they've got so many people, this long established history, that people just know, oh, there they are. I'm going to go buy from my favorite grower down here. I buy from them every year. I knew I was coming into this saturated market, and I didn't want to just grow lettuce or radishes or things that are known to be high value, because I thought that was just going to be boring. I didn't think that I would find a lot of fun in that. And just selling those at wholesale or just at the farmer's market and specializing in only being like the lettuce person. And I just really wanted to find a model that was exciting to me, that was fun, that tied in with my values, but also met the hole that I saw in the current market. And so what I came up with was the idea of scraping the cream of the clientele at this market off the top. There were some foodies there. There were people that were home chefs that came every Saturday early in the morning before the market opened and started buying up all the freshest high-end stuff, little things. And that was what I wanted to target. And I started growing a lot of different cultivars that people weren't growing. One example is white eggplants that bruise in the grocery store. They're delicious. They have this creamy texture, and people had never seen them before. White avalanche beets have a really high sugar content, and they caramelize great, and they're the perfect beet for people that don't like beets. My lettuce mix always has 8 or 9 different cultivars of lettuce in there. It has baby romaine that's really crisp. Everything that I grow has got just a really good thought to what the product is. That's always the forefront target in my mind, rather than how much does it produce and does it have the perfect shelf life or whatever things that you're trying to grow. Is the seed inexpensive, right? I'm always looking for what's tasting the best. So I'm focusing on artisanal vegetables at the highest quality I can possibly do. I harvest tomatoes when they're ripe. My lettuce mix is very varied inside. It's not just 2 types of frilly stuff. Everything I pick, I try to do at a smaller size. So I have baby beets, I have baby zucchini and squashes, I have cucumbers that are picked smaller so that they're sweeter and the seeds haven't developed all the way. All of these things was produce the same sort of, but nobody else was doing it. And it started to create a draw. And I came at it with that, as well as my sustainable practices. I was really promoting that, I think, heavily in the beginning, saying that I'm not organic, but I'm going beyond that. And here's how I'm doing it. I'm a micro farm that doesn't till, and I don't spray, and I don't use any herbicides or pesticides. And we nurture our soil with cover crops and with mulch. And what I found was, after coming at everything with these principles, was that people, I don't think, really cared so much about the sustainability and the fact that I was a micro farm and that I had a really small carbon footprint and I was 5 miles from the market. They really cared, do you spray? No, that's always the answer. Great. And then they cared more about the quality of my stuff and what varieties I had. I'll always grow the way that I grow. It's a good thing. But I just have found that out of the approach that I took, high quality artisanal varieties and sustainability, people were less interested in the sustainability portion of that. And that could change in the upcoming years. People certainly don't go, oh, bummer, you're a sustainable grower, I'm not going to buy for you. But I don't think that's the draw. I don't think people go, ooh, micro farms, sustainable agriculture, let's go there. I think the draw for them is, wow, she's got white eggplant and filet beans, and I've never seen squash look like that before. That's seeming to work really well for me. It's allowing me to grow all the varieties that I want and be like a one-stop shop, but do it in a small space, because I'm only grabbing the top 10% or so of the market. I'm never going to move huge amounts of volume, but I'm going to move all the stuff that I grow, because I'm getting those clients that buy it all up. And they're excited about it, which is great. And it's just really fun to do.
I think there's a lot of great lessons in there. And if you're a case study, I could see this being a course, and here's this case study. One is, I heard this saying once and I love it. Is there a niche in the market? And then is there a market in the niche? So can you find a niche within your existing market that you can sell into? And there's one thing to identify it, but there has to be a market in that niche. So you can't just identify the niche. There has to be people that want to buy within that niche. And that's what you did.
If you enjoy farm podcasts, then tune into Carrot Cash Flow for all things farm business. Join us as we explore the latest trends, tips, and stories from market farmers running businesses just like yours. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe to Carrot Cash Flow today.